Hey, welcome to HoopSpeak Live. I'm your host, Beckley Mason. With me is Ethan Sherwood-Strauss, live from his Yelp studios in San Francisco, California, and live from his cleanly abode, Zach Harper. How are you guys doing today?
Doing okay.
Oh,
Wait a
no middle
second. No,
name.
no. I just thought about the Warriors free agency debacle, and now I am not doing okay. I just remembered it. I realized we were doing a basketball
I saw
chat.
you about a week ago, and you were so excited about the possibilities of your team, and you were just like, I have never
Yeah.
seen you like this about the Warriors, and now you're so
There's
dark and gloomy about, and you're taking it out by
Right
saying
back
that
to
the
hating his
Clippers
favorite
shouldn't even
team.
exist, which is like,
I know
think
it's
just
hard.
a
People don't see that.
hateful thing.
People don't
Try
see
to
that side of
construct
me.
this
This sort of
intellectual argument. Do it.
just childlike, sincere joy that I felt merely a week ago. And frankly, I think the other writers in the Bay Area were kind of against the trade because they couldn't, like, they just could not handle the prospect of the Warriors actually being relevant and contending for a title. And let me establish the trade we're talking about. The trade that was floated
It's a lot of work.
was Chris Paul for Steph Curry, getting, including Tyson Chandler in free agency. Bill Simmons cited it as his most likely scenario as to what would occur, and I think that would have been a title contending team, and it was all for naught. And well, now it's Kwame Brown time, which we'll get to later. But how you doing, Zach?
Yeah, but we actually do have exciting, happy news, and that is that Chris Paul is going to be on national TV a lot, and he's going to be throwing a lot of alley-oops in Lob City, L.A. The Lob blog is, I'm sure, just now being formed. And we're going to be talking to Kevin Arnovitz about that a little bit later. And then the second guest we're going to have on today is Seth Rosenfels from Postin' and Toastin', which is a New York Knicks blog.
You just combined his name with Sage. You just combined his name with Sage Rosenfels, the Jewish
Did I say
quarterback, by the way.
Rosenfels? Man, I really need someone to
God,
correct me
you
all
are
the time
so
because
anti-Semitic.
then I'll really be able to focus going forward. This is awesome. Well, I'm sure he's going to cancel, but if you look for him on Twitter, there's an underscore, and he looks like an anteater.
Jay Fiedler will be on next.
Yeah. Anywho, let's go ahead and did we ever come up with a good topic for Take the Bacon? It sounded like Zach wanted to argue something that was indefensible because he's a bacon fiend. And, hey, there we go. We just got a Twitter shout out from Sage. So, Seth
God.
Rosenthal. Oh my gosh. It's been a weird day, okay? I've been doing a lot of actual work today, so that's going to be my excuse. Let's just go to Take the Bacon and get me off camera. All right, Zach, what do we got?
Well, I mean, you're in no shape to argue this clearly because you're just gonna try to find a way to mix up more Jewish people during this argument. But
Paul is going to be great on the LA Clippers / Lakers or whatever. I don't know who he plays for even.
Chris Paul is going to be good. That's not the argument. The argument is they did not give up anything close to too much for him. They gave up Eric Gordon, Aminu, Chris Kaman, a pick. There's just no way that's way too much. Even if they had given up Bledsoe, they have a plethora of point guards. They have more point guards right now than the Minnesota Timberwolves. So let's end those out-of-date jokes. Litany, oh, sure. Eric Gordon is a very good player. Eric Gordon is going to be an all-star someday, most likely. Eric Gordon is not even close to as good as Chris Paul. I don't care if Chris Paul has one leg. Eric Gordon's been more injured over the last 2 years than Chris Paul has, and Chris Paul is apparently the injury risk. I just don't see how in any way there was a king's ransom for the Hornets in acquiring the people they acquired.
Yeah, I think that is all true. My question is, I'm wondering whether the Hornets could have, or not the Hornets, the Clippers could have gotten him this summer. Like, what was going to be their competition this summer? The Lakers weren't going to be able to pay him, almost certainly. I don't think the Knicks could because they thought that this was going to break down. So weren't the Clippers kind of betting against them, or basically bargaining against themselves for this summer? or am I just reading that wrong?
I see where you could assume that. I would say no, because I still think the Warriors could get a deal done if they wanted to by offering Curry. I think that if the Thunder went through this season and Westbrook fell apart in the playoffs, you would have a serious consideration of trying to put him next to Durant. I think that new teams could emerge without us even knowing, depending on how the season goes. So I don't think that they did it too soon. I think you have to do it now to try to get him that rapport with Blake Griffin and try to get some kind of momentum going into his free agency talks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you wanted me to argue against you on this. This is like a very obvious point that I'm on your side. So you can have this bacon because it's gross and overcooked and no one even wants it out the pan. But I will say that I wonder if they could have held out if the NBA would have just at the last second in March basically allowed them to do this for just Gordon or just the pick.
I'm going to jump in and, first of all, God, just a disgraceful performance by Mason, bowing out, not taking an extreme position and fighting.
Yeah,
just not a
no
spirit
heart
of a warrior there. It's really.
He's not a fighter like our fine Jewish brothers.
Yeah, not at all. not in the slightest.
Oh, I see what's happening here.
The bacon goes to Zach for staking out an obvious position and defending it well. I will also add, I think it's funny that people discuss this issue. Oh my God, Beckley, please, please rein it in, harness it. God.
Sorry, cam twist.
Okay, collecting myself. I think it's funny that people act as though the Clippers had some kind of leverage against the league. Like, the league runs the league. They can kind of pressure and strong-arm the Clippers into taking whatever deal is best for their optics.
How can they do that? What do you mean they can pressure them?
I don't think you have to be a conspiracy theorist to go David Stern exert some influence and can suspend people on teams, can suspend players. He has real power. I mean, they are the league. And I know the league is essentially run by the owners, but you're dealing with 1/29th of the power structure versus the overall commissioner. I think that gives them more leverage. Would you disagree that it gives them more leverage, Beckley? You snide something bad, you?
I wouldn't... Look, I guess it gives them more leverage, but in reality, we're just talking about, like, the specter of more leverage, of being able to do something overt like a suspension. Like, if someone on the Clippers got suspended because they hadn't made this deal, that would be something to get worked up around. The fact that it's possible isn't enough to, like, claim that Stern was strong-arming them. He strong-arms everybody. I think if he was an owner, a real owner, he would try to do the same things. I don't see where... I mean, I see there's an obvious conflict of interest, but I think that this is a deal that any owner could have made.
I think that it's a relatively fair deal. Don't get me wrong. I just think it's funny that people are so shocked that the NBA got a good deal from one of its 29 teams. I mean, it's not that shocking. I think Network, and that's with a backwards 3, to paraphrase something he tweeted, that David Stern got a great deal, but his finger was on the scale. I think that's the measure of it. You know, in the end, it's a pretty fair deal, but people shouldn't be shocked that the league somehow magically leverage materialized for them. I don't think it's shocking at all. Bam.
Well, I think the leverage was that they had Chris Paul. And
I just don't think, I think people are making too much of this Timberwolves pick. They acquired a potential #1 pick by dumping Chris Paul because their pick is going to potentially be #1. Like, they're going to be awful this year. And that helped their lottery chances more than the Wolves. I mean, the Wolves are going to be like the 28th, 29th pick. I don't know what you get for when you make the conference finals, but it's going to be right around there.
I think it's a vote of confidence, reverse confidence in David Kahn.
I feel bad for Gordon though. That's got to be pretty deflating to leave Blake Griffin and all the good stuff that's going there and basically reset it back in New Orleans.
I don't know. New Orleans is a nice place to play 60% of your season.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good way to look at it. 24-hour bars.
All right, fine.
It's got that. It's too bad Ricky Davis never played for the Hornets.
Hopefully he has a drinking problem, then he'll enjoy his time there.
Yeah, it's
there you
great.
go. Look on the
We
bright
all
side.
know he's a booze hound, so New Orleans will be great for him.